Let's be real. Man, I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of looking in my family eyes and that's a joke, dog. I'm tired of all my problems, not be humble when I boast. And if I'm being
Yo, welcome back to Couch Therapy with God. I am so excited to be back with you guys. I hope that you guys are enjoying every bit of it because I am thoroughly enjoying all of this. Before we get started, please go ahead and subscribe, like, do not be a gatekeeper, share, share, share. If you think that it is good, share. So today I have my mother on the couch. Some people might know her as First Lady. Some people might know her as Overseer. Some people might know her as Prophetess. Some people might know her as Teacher. Some people might know her as Aunt. And the list goes on and on and on. I am honored to even have her on the couch, but I'm more honored to have her as a mother. She has been my best friend. I can't say that we started like that, but as we have progressed and I have gotten older, it has been a phenomenal relationship and one that I have enjoyed watching us progress and just learning how to cultivate our friendship and our relationship as mother daughter better. So I know that I was not an easy child. Like, I'm very honest, and my mom knows this. I was actually a bad child, if we want to be honest. And a lot of things that I did, now that I'm a mom, I can't even imagine going through, or I don't know, dealing with it. As you are praying for your child, but watching them go through certain obstacles, like I can only imagine that being difficult. So today, I want to talk to my mom about, like, how do you, or how was it for you, um, being steadfast, believing what God, or what God said I was to be, and but watching me hit brick walls after brick wall. Like, I can only imagine that after a while, your faith might be tested, or after a while, this sense of, I can't do this no more. I don't know what else to say to her. But your love and your, like, steadfast and praying and believing God for me, like, how were you able to stay with it? Like,
Well, first of all, I carried you.
I'm crying already. Lord, we just getting started.
I carried you in my womb as a Christian. It's heartfelt because the Lord told me before you came out who you would be.
Right.
Um, it was spoken to me before I seen you.
Right.
And so you were birthed into a spiritual home. You were birthed into a home of a praying mother. Even when you were in my womb, I was cultivated around strong praying women who helped me understand what it means to be a Christian mother. And so, being around the ears of what I call midwives, because I was very young. And so, hearing them say who you were and the prophetic words and utterance that came out helped me to hold on to what God had said about you even before you even came out.
Right. So let me ask you. So you're pregnant with me. You have me, and I'm a little kid at this point, and I'm assuming at that age I probably didn't do much or get into much trouble. Mm-hmm. So then you hit all of a sudden this rebellious child that I've cultivated. I have brought her up in this Christian home, but she's doing the opposite of what the cultivation has been. And I, on the other side, I think for me, I don't know why, but it felt like I wanted to I wanted to rebel. I wanted to hit these brick walls. And I remember saying as a teenager, like, I want to see how this wall feels. Like, I know y'all tell me, avoid the wall, but I'm like, no, I want to know what that feels like. Thank God for his mercy being on my life, because a lot of the things that I was doing could have ended my life. So even with me being rebellion in it, or rebellious, I'm sorry, in it, him being able to still like send a hedge of protection around me, even in that state. But how did that look? Like, I've birthed you out of this. I've had these midwives around me. Mm-hmm. I haven't strayed away. I haven't introduced her to anything wrong. In the home, nothing's going wrong. You know what I mean? So it's not, just the home atmosphere of, in here we're doing X, Y, and Z, so they are picking that up. Mm-hmm. I was bringing it in and bringing turmoil in the house. Right. So how does that look as a parent of, this isn't what this is not what I signed up for. Like, I have walked this. I have walked the steady walk with God, and now I'm looking at this. Well, going back to what I said from the beginning, you have to hold on to what has been spoken. Yeah. And so I have to go to this area because I am a Christian mother. It goes like this. We don't know, we know that what he speaks of the promises. We know the end, but we never know the in between. Right. And that is where most parents give up, because there's always an in between. Yeah. When you talk about children, there's always a process that they have to go through. Me as a parent, I kept my knees, stayed on my knees. Now, if I didn't learn how to pray, I learned how to pray because of the things that you went through. Right. And so parents have to understand that it's not based on what they have done. It is the assignment from the enemy, mm-hmm. because that child has purpose. Right. And so if the enemy can get the parent, mm-hmm. not believing in what God said about their child, that's when the child can be snatched. Many times I would hear the Lord tell me over in the midnight, because you didn't like to come home sometimes. I told you I was bad. You didn't like to come home. Sometimes when we tell you to come in at 12, you'll come in at 3. You said you over one friend's house, you down the street at another friend's house. And so those were the areas where I felt that the spirit of from the enemy, where he had released an assignment, and I knew that. And so I had to begin to pray that God would just keep a hedge, because I didn't know where you were. And one thing parents have to understand, your prayers will take you farther than where you can go. Right. And so what happened was, I began to trust my father, because I knew the assignment. I knew what God had said about your life. You were brought up in the church. All you knew was the church, and you didn't know nothing else. Right. I carried you in the church. You went to church probably 3 days a week. You were in prayer. Because when I went to prayer, you were in prayer. Right. And so Wednesday night Bible study, Thursday night, you were in Sunday night. And so I sacrificed, because I knew
If you bring a child up in the way he should go, when he is old, he will not depart. The wind may blow, but I'm putting something in that child that is rooted. And so I had to understand. I remember when I was in ministry, and a lot of parents say, how can, I be in ministry and my children are just cutting up, and I had to go through the process of understanding I'm called to ministry. I had a ministry assignment, but yet my daughter is cutting up. I remember my pastor at that time, it was Bishop Hickman, who said, come here. You're talking the hell out of Barbara. I'm out of answer, leave her alone. At that moment, and she said, you're talking, you're talking just too much. You're causing her to really rebel more than what she should. And so I had to get to the place that I said, okay, God, this is your child. Mm-hmm. You loaned her to me. And so even though I knew the promises, and now she's a teenager, and now she's being tested and the enemy is after her life. The enemy was after your life. Right. I had to pray literally that the death angel wouldn't snatch you early. And so I couldn't be afraid of what I saw. I had to trust in who my father was. Right. And so that's where I was determined that you will be everything that God is calling you to be. And I'm so thankful because I'm seeing it unfold. Right. And so we're very proud of you.
Thank you. And I know, like you were saying, bringing a child up in it. I don't know where I would have been in some circumstances or situations where I didn't know how to call on God. Like I remember being in a vehicle and the car is flipping over, and all I knew was to call on God. Like I remember getting down on the floor and praying to God, like, please don't take my life. And so if I didn't have that seed already imparted in me, like I don't know if I would have known to call on him during that time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I think it is very important that that parents are putting the seed in the ground so that the child knows where to go back to. Even when they're doing God knows what, in the midst of it, I know I got to do this. I know I got to do this. I'll be out with my friends and we high as a kite, and I'm like back there like, God, please, I'm sorry. Get us back home, And so regardless of, I think what I was doing, I think I knew that I would be here. Kind of like I knew that God was calling me. But I think that I was scared of what that looked like. Mm-hmm. Back then, I don't remember seeing a lot of like high school Christians that said it out loud and that it looked appealing and fun. So I was just like, that's not for me. I like having fun. I like being outside. I like doing these things. And so as I've gotten older and created a different relationship with God, and he's showing me like who I am, and that, hey, you can still be you. Actually, like I made you that way so that you can still be you. You can still wear your grills. You can still be you, and it does not negate who I am in your life, nor does it change or water down your walk with me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I was talking to a coworker, and I actually appreciate, and I don't really hear a lot of people saying this, but I actually appreciate the win. Like, I am thankful for the win because it has grounded me to know who I am, what I'm capable of, and who God is in my life. You know what I mean? So I know certain places not to go because I know it's going to bring something else out of me. I know certain music I can't listen to because this is going to bring this out of me. You know what I mean? Like I've gotten to know me through the wind. and got to know who God is as my Savior throughout the land. Because there were a lot of times that he could have took me.
Could have took you. Yeah.
He could have took me. I've gotten a gun pulled out on me. I have been arrested. I have been in car wrecks. I have just had different things happen, and it's been nothing but God.
You've been bad.
I was bad. I was bad, y'all. I was bad, and this lady right here, I didn't know where I would be without her. Like, I remember, it's a horrible story, but I remember getting picked up by the police, and they're like, "We gotta call your mama," and I'm like, "Nope. You gonna keep me in here? Go ahead and book me. I ain't calling her." And I was like, "Ma'am, you cannot stay here. You gotta call your mama." And I called, and the disappointment that she had in me, but the disappointment, but the love and the prayers that still went out. Like, she did not cancel me out. She didn't dust her hands and just give up or negate the promise that God gave you.
That's true.
And
that is true.
For that, I don't even think that, like, I think that's the biggest gift that you could have given me, is not giving up on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you showed me as a mom how to be committed and know what's going on in your home, know who your children is, what they're capable of, so that it's not, you know what I mean? It's so easy to get blindsided.
That's true. That is true.
So for a parent who maybe is just now getting in the things of God, and they're trying to change the trajectory of maybe what has happened or what their life has been, like, what would you suggest to them?
One thing I suggest is that, for he knows the plans that he has for you, plans to prosper you and bring you into an expected end. So, young mothers who are coming into the faith, it is imperative that they know the plans that God has for their children. And when they know those plans of that he wants to save just not only you, but he wants to save your whole household. And the importance of this same Jesus that I love is the same Jesus. He's so awesome, and he's so beautiful, and he's so magnificent, and he's so loving, and he's so kind and forgiving. As a young mother, we want to give that same thing to the children. That means keeping them around the church, around Christian believers, bringing them into what I did with you, children church, having you around the things of God to cultivate you. Because if you don't, the world will grab your children. And so you have to feed them. Even as a young mother, you may not understand the fullness of it, but the beginning part of it is to bring your children to church. Have them around things that growing them into who they're supposed to be. Cutting off friends that is not conducive to your children. If you're married to your husband, you want friends that are headed the same way, the way that you're going. And so, because when you have children, you want your children in an atmosphere and in a surrounding area that's like you. You know, I didn't let you go a lot of places. You start going places where you got them licenses. And when you got those licenses, I should have thought twice. You hit a deer. You hit a deer. You did all kinds of stuff. So a lot of times we have to make sure as young parents that we listen to older mothers too, to understand, because a lot of times we don't see down the road. And so we have to have a listening ear to know how and what to do to cultivate, and most of all, develop a prayer life. You got to have a prayer life.
Right. Now, y'all, I don't want y'all to think that she has been a passive mother who just stayed on her knees and praying.
No, I will.
No.
I will.
Beat. We're going to say beat at this point. But it was all out of love, I'm sure.
Me too.
Yeah, a little bit. But it's okay. I'm normal and I am fine now. I'm fine now. But I have enjoyed our friendship, Mom.
We do have a friendship. We call each other every day.
Every day, multiple times a day.
Multiple.
You have been truly just a good friend. Like you're my mom, but I can tell you in and everything, and I have to tell you, sometimes like I don't need,
response.
Yeah. I don't need your response, or I need, I need a mother's answer, or I need a first lady answer, like, but you know how to do, like, how to exchange hats so well. And I think, you know, with you wearing so many hats, it has been an adjustment for me to allow everybody access to you. Because, you know, it's not, I think that you are a gem, and when you are given access to, I can become very protective over you, like, don't touch her, she's my mama. But I have enjoyed just you. I can't believe that we are here.
Yes, yes.
It was a rocky.
It was a rocky road.
Rocky road. But today we can call each other friends.
We are friends, and I bear you as well. They said the children will rise up because they are inheritance of the Lord. And so there have been things of wisdom that you have given me. Things that I couldn't see. You have given that to me. And as I go back and I said, I'm thankful because I'm seeing the gem that you are, and the wisdom and the anointing and the counselor that you are. Things that I'm kind of just want to just, and you have to go back and level my head on some things. And so I said, God, I'm thankful. When you bring children up, they will come back and they will bless you. They will bless you on things that you need because you have fed them the things that they need to give back to you.
Right.
And so, my thing is, as a parent, I do want to say this. As you were going through your changes, I imparted to every young girl, and I did it from the heart.
Yeah.
I sowed every seed. I wanted to see them flourish. I wanted to see them grow. And the Lord told me, the seeds that you are sowing, you're going to see it through your daughter. And so I never have been a mom that compared you with others.
Yeah.
Because I always thought you were brilliant. You were not compared. I never saw you to be compared. And I guess all mothers feel that about their children.
Right.
But because I'm on the couch, I can say I always saw you brilliant. You were always creative. You were always anointed. You were speaking in tongues when you were 9. And your aunts will ask you, what is the word of the Lord? I don't think you can remember that. And so I knew that the hand of God was on you. But I also knew you wouldn't be me.
Yeah.
You told me, I'm not going to be you. I don't want to look like you. I don't want to act like you. But I told you that you would be that and more. And so the creativity as a millennial, the mover and the shaker that you are, I can say, Bishop Price, I can say that we are proud of you. We are godly proud. You are a survivor. You know how to survive. You have such a fight in you. Um, you have such a fight that I know that God has you. Now, some children you have to work through, but who you are, you're a fighter. You have a such a profoundness to you, and so I never can compare you to nobody else because you are a one that stands alone. You're a gem, and your friends see you as a gem. You are such a long suffering friend. You have such a patience and a love for your friends that I have to learn sometimes because you're very patient and you're kind. You're forgiving. You can turn the other cheek. Now you mean, but you do have those things.
You guys, I hope, did you enjoy it? Been on the couch?
Yes, I am.
She was nervous, y'all.
I cried, please, but I cried.
I can't believe she's nervous. She preaches like nobody's business, like a mad woman. And I see when it comes, I'm like, oh, y'all done let her out. And she sat on this couch and she was nervous today. So I thank you for being on this couch. I hope you guys enjoyed this this couch therapy with God on today. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Let's be real. Man, I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of looking in my family eyes and that's a joke, dog. I'm tired of all my problems, not be humble when I boast. And if I'm